Donald Trump is the wealthiest American president of all time, with an estimated net worth of $5.6 billion.
Tremendous amount of money.
If he spent extravagantly, he could purchase 50 private islands, a submarine garage within an ultimate super yacht, or even establish his own theme park. But of course, being America's president means setting an example for your fellow citizens. That's why he spends most of his money on an expensive car collection, just like any other US president in the past. So, in this video, let's take a look at the craziest, most expensive, and legendary cars of US presidents over time. Which one tops the tier list? Let's find out. Here's a solid but a little bit unremarkable car. Jimmy Carter's 1977 Ford Mustang is a true departure from the usual presidential car choices. According to some resources, it's a personal choice of the former president, but I think it's not necessarily something you'd associate with the grandeur of the office. On the other hand, I believe this car appeals to you because it reflects Carter's grounded style. Fun fact, this car wasn't even considered luxury at the time. What does that say about Carter's vibe? Not much, I think. Anyway, when you compare it to the luxury of JFK's Lincoln or the grandeur of FDR's Ford, this feels a little out of place. It's a good car, but it's not presidential in the traditional sense. C tier. Ronald Reagan's 1984 Cadillac Fleetwood.
Ronald Reagan!
Now, this 1984 Cadillac Fleetwood that screams American luxury. It's spacious, has smooth riding, and has been designed with luxury in mind.
Cadillac luxury and convenience.
It's got all the trimmings of a presidential ride without being over the top, something some wealthy people in our generation might need. I think this car deserves a spot in our A-tier list. But before you agree, wait till you hear more about what I have on this list, because it might change your mind. Barack Obama's 2009 Chrysler 300C. I don't get why Barack Obama, one of the wealthiest former US presidents alive, chose to drive this less extravagant choice of a car. Although it was very a modern and stylish ride for the time, it wasn't the kind of car that would rival the luxury and history behind vehicles like Kennedy's Lincoln or Roosevelt's Ford. Maybe Obama's choice reflects his logical leadership style.
Don't boo! Vote!
Focused more on what works than what wows. Or maybe he just really liked the cup holders. However, the haters say that this might be Obama's choice because it reflects something deeper about his presidency. C tier. Dwight D. Eisenhower's 1953 Chrysler Imperial. Now here's a car with some history under its hood. The 1936 Ford Phaeton is the embodiment of pre-World War II luxury. I personally think that this car was a step ahead of most cars we mentioned because of all the things of post-Labrawacano prosperity. And if we're comparing it to Barack's Chrysler, this Imperial had its own charm without even trying. The smooth design and sophisticated vibe were perfect for Eisenhower's more reserved style, making its spot on our A-tier list. But do you think there's a car that's more than just wheels and engines compared to this one? Let me know in the comments. Bill Clinton's 1993 Lincoln Town Car. It's nothing flashy really, but it is known for being refined and comfortable, which is exactly what Clinton needed during his presidency, if you know what I mean. I've always found the town car to have its own quiet luxury. Nothing too loud. It's a good car, but compared to the other legends here, it's a bit more downcast. B tier. Unfortunately, I also think that this car feels like the automotive equivalent of Clinton's saxophone solos. Smooth, but not exactly groundbreaking. If you haven't watched some of his solos yet, just search about it and you'll see what I'm talking about.
You'll see.
Now we have Richard Nixon's 1973 Lincoln Continental. This one is a great example of presidential comfort. It's a large, luxurious vehicle that can cater to at least 7 passengers at a time. This car may have been spacious, but it looked dated even back then. Definitely not a ride you'd swipe right on. Although it wasn't exactly the most exciting choice in terms of design, making it look a bit unpopular and uninspired, the former president has been seen riding this car many times, which we assume is his favorite, D tier. Moving on to the most popular and classic of all, John F. Kennedy's 1961 Lincoln Continental convertible is hands down one of the most iconic presidential cars of all time, and it's hard not to look at it without thinking of the events that unfolded during JFK's presidency. JFK's convertible is a combination of style and everything the 1960s were about: youth, good condition, and the American dream. This is definitely S tier. Johnson is known for his crazy taste when it comes to vehicles. He even has a car-boat hybrid that could land and float on water. And the fact that there are only about 4,000 amphicars ever made, his amphicar is one of the collector's dreams nowadays. But of course, we're not here to talk about that. LBJ's 1965 Lincoln Continental is often remembered for its use in the presidential motorcade. It has a 1960s vibe that'll make you feel nostalgic. However, compared to JFK's later model, which we'll talk about later, the 1965 Continental doesn't have the same level of elegance or refinement. D tier. Harry S. Truman's 1947 Chrysler Windsor is a good, solid car, but let's be honest, it's no showstopper. This car is all about practicality and reliability. I wouldn't say it's the flashiest of presidential cars, but it's a good ride for a president who was more focused on getting things done than on being a showman. Overall, I think that practicality alone is the name of his game here. B tier. Next is Franklin D. Roosevelt's 1936 Ford Phaeton. Now this car is special. It represents the luxury in the pre-World War II, while simultaneously being ahead of its time. Honestly, this car was pure class. Not to sound dramatic or what, but it could have something that felt like hope on wheels, because it was designed in the midst of the Great Depression. Until today, it stands out because it offers so much character and history, a feeling I think we'll never get over in a very long time.
I'll never get over it as long as I live.
A capsule of resilience indeed. S tier. Let's talk trucks. George W. Bush rocked a 2001 Ford F-150, and honestly, it fits his cowboy vibe. This truck screams Texas ranch life, and while it's not exactly a luxury car, it's practical and reliable just like a Chrysler. Bush even used this truck on his Crawford Ranch, proving presidents can get a little dusty too. Sure, it's not fancy, but it's got character, and that counts for something. A definite B tier all the way. Joe Biden's 1967 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray was a wedding gift from his dad, and it's got all the classic charm of a time when cars were pure art.
I have a love affair with my automobile. I got a 1967 Corvette I'm having restored. I love it.
Bright green, roaring engine, and curves for days. With a top speed of approximately 150 miles per hour, this Stingray combines sentimental value with performance, making it a strong contender for the A tier. And that's a wrap on our US President's car tier list. Which ride surprised you the most, and where would you rank these cars on your own list? Let me know in the comments below. For more interesting tiers, check the video popping on your screen right now. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video.